Mike sat down on the edge of the bed and put the ruler paddle down behind him. "Come here, young lady." Daphne stayed where she was. "I don't want a spanking," she said, stamping her foot. "I know you don't want a spanking, but you need one. Now be a good girl and come here." She reluctantly went over to his right side, shuffling her feet, looking at the ruler lying on the bed. Daphne was wearing a short, tight denim skirt that buttoned and zipped on the side. She pushed Mike's hands away. "I can do it myself," she told him, curling her lower lip down slightly. She knew that Mike hated it when she left her clothes on the floor. That's just too bad, she thought. She was left standing there with her red face full of embarrassment. Mike wrapped his left arm around her, tucking his hand under her right hip, holding her firmly on his lap. "You have needed a spanking all afternoon," Mike told her. "Sometimes I don't know what gets into you." As he started to scold her, she interrupted him. "You're going to give me a spanking no matter what I say, so why do I have to listen to the talk first? Can't you just get it over with without giving me a lecture?" "You really do need a good hard spanking," Mike told her. "You get the talk so that you can think about how naughty you've been while you're getting your bottom warmed." Mike continued to scold her. When he finished, he picked up the paddle and patted her bottom with it. "Now, are you ready to take your spanking?" "Yeah, whatever." Mike raised the paddle and brought it down hard across her bottom. He gave her another stroke. "That hurts. Spankings are supposed to hurt." He continued paddling her. "I thought that you wanted me to stop scolding you and get on with the spanking," he said, as he brought the paddle down across the lower part of her bottom, just above her thighs. "It hurts. I don't want a spanking." Mike gave her another smack with the paddle. "I know that you don't want a spanking. That's why spankings are used to punish naughty girls." He continued to spank her. The smacks of the paddle echoed by Daphne's cries. She squirmed after a hard stroke. "Be a good girl and lie still. If you squirm or kick, I'm going to spank you on the thighs," Mike told her as he brought the paddle down across the tops of her thighs. "I'll be a good girl," Daphne protested as Mike paddled her bottom harder. "I'm sorry I was naughty. I've learned my lesson. Really, I'll be good, I promise." Mike ignored Daphne's pleas and continued to paddle her, spanking her on the thighs whenever she did not lie still. He did not stop. "I want you to lie over the pillows, and no rubbing." Daphne got up off his lap. She put her hands on her hips. "I've had my spanking," she sniffled. "It hurt a lot, and I promised to be a good girl. How come I have to lie over the pillows?" she said, stamping her foot. "You have to lie over the pillows so that I can spank you with the cane. It's not fair that I have to get paddled and caned too. I wasn't that naughty. The cane hurts too much. Naughty girls don't get to decide how they get spanked. Maybe you should have thought about the hard spanking you would get before you acted like a brat. Now, over those pillows." Daphne pouted, but did not argue further. She knew if she kept pushing, she would just end up getting spanked harder. She piled 3 pillows in the middle of the bed and lay over them. Daphne buried her face in a 4th pillow, her honey blonde hair flowing over the pillow, hiding her face. Daphne's legs were together. The pillows under her hips pushed her bottom up. Mike tapped her upper thighs lightly with the cane. "Spread your legs, honey," he told her. Daphne spread her thighs slightly. Mike gave her a light stroke across her upper thighs. "Wider." "Good girl." Mike thought Daphne looked beautiful like this. He lightly brought the cane lightly across Daphne's bottom, measuring his stroke. Then he raised the cane and brought it whistling down across her upraised buttocks. She took the first few strokes in silence. Mike was not going to make her cry like a little girl being spanked by her daddy, she told herself. Mike gave every 3rd or 4th stroke across the tops of Daphne's thighs, and it hurt so much. She was sorry that she had been a naughty girl, and even sorrier that she was getting a spanking. Soon she was crying, the pillow muffling her sobs. Mike put the cane down and sat next to her on the bed. She looked very vulnerable, lying over the pillows. Daphne's shoulders shook slightly as she cried softly. Mike caressed her, running his hand down her back. Her skin was hot, and he could feel the welts from the cane strokes. He caressed her and kissed her until she stopped crying. Mike stood and picked up the cane, moving to the other side of the bed. "I'm going to give you another 20 strokes, he told her. Mike knew Daphne would soon be crying again, and he felt slightly cruel, comforting her only to continue spanking her. Mike wanted to give Daphne a chance to catch her breath, and he wanted her to know that he was giving her a hard spanking because he loved her. As Mike expected, Daphne started crying again after the first few strokes of the cane. Despite her resistance before, she did feel like a little girl getting a hard spanking. When Mike stopped canning her, she was crying hard and did not try to muffle her cries in the pillow. Mike went to the closet and exchanged the cane for a Vermont country store bath brush. "I want you to lie over my lap, darling," he told Daphne as he sat on the end of the bed. She got up from the bed and took a Kleenex from the nightstand. Her eyes were wet and her cheeks were lined with tears. She stopped crying as she dried her face and blew her nose. Daphne went over to Mike's right side. She thought that maybe he was going to give her a hand spanking. When she saw the brush in his hand, she started crying again as she lay over his lap. Mike stroked her hair. "Your punishment is almost over. I'm going to spank you with the brush, and then it will all be over. My bottom already hurts so much," Daphne said between sobs. "I know, honey, but you need to be a brave girl and take your spanking. Why does it have to be with the brush? Can't you use your hand?" "I'm sorry, love, but it has to be the brush. I'm going to give you 20. Daphne started crying harder. "Does it have to be so many? I'm sorry I was a bad girl. I promise I'll be a good girl. Please don't spank me so hard. I've learned my lesson. I know you're sorry, honey, and I'm sure that you will be a good girl. But you were a naughty girl and you need a spanking. Now lie still, so I don't have to give you any extras." Mike started paddling her spanking her fast and hard. Daphne cried out as she took each stroke. The smacks of the brush hurt more than ruler paddle and even the cane. Although Daphne had struggled, she now lay still. She was limp over Mike's lap, resigned to the pain, sobbing as the brush punished her. Finally, it was over, and Mike took her in his arms and comforted her, stroking her back and her hair until she stopped crying.